What can I say about Mafia 2 that already hasn't been said? I personally believe that Mafia 2 is one of the best games ever made. Released all the way back in 2010, Mafia 2 released to amazing reviews. But I will say, the game always felt underrated. It wasn't ever really talked about. Yes, it got fantastic reviews, but unfortunately it was overshadowed by games such as Mass Effect 2 and Red Dead Redemption. And for years, I've been singing Mafia 2's praises. The game is currently in my top 5 games of all time. And when 2K reached out to me and told me that they were re-releasing Mafia 2 as the definitive edition, I was very, very excited. So in today's video, I'm going to be looking at Mafia 2's definitive edition, as well as the original game. Back when Mafia 2 released, I praised the game on its amazing world, its amazing attention to detail. At this time, I'd never played the original Mafia, so having an open world that had these amazing small attentions to detail was mind-blowing to me. Sure, the Grand Theft Auto games had come out and had amazing open worlds, but they didn't have those small details. Here is what I said all the way back then about the game. Alright, so I thought I'd show you one of my favourite games of all time. That attention to detail blows my mind, and that just shows that the developers put love into this game. The most detail I can see in this is like the music and how it works, and the current engine noises and everything else. And the gunplay is amazingly good in this. The cover system is really good. The animation is very good. When you like hold yourself up against the wall when you're in cover, he holds like the shotgun up away from him, and the attention to detail in the animations is absolutely mind-blowing. I just can't get enough of this, and it's so good. Go pick it up right now. Yeah, I've been covering Mafia 2 for years, so I think I'm okay in saying that I know quite a lot about this game. So let's talk about those small attentions to detail. Take this scene, for instance, where you stumble across a husband and wife arguing about their car.
You are so useless. It's no wonder the army wouldn't take you.
You had to bring that up again, didn't you?
Ethel's husband Frank, he's a fighter pilot. Margaret's husband Charlie, he drives a submarine.
I'm warning you.
My husband? Oh, he's a 4F. He works at the grocery store.
You know what? Fix it yourself then, you lousy bitch!
Now this is not a marked thing, and you can walk right past this and never ever see it again. But this is what happens if you wait.
Hey, need a hand?
Sure do. Hope you're better at this thing than my good-for-nothing husband.
There we go, all done. I just needed to, screw a couple things in.
Really? Well, thank you very much, handsome.
Don't mention it.
At the time, this blew me away because around this time, most games had markers on practically everything. You were led to walk in one direction and see what the developer wanted you to see. But this was an open world game where these things were happening and it felt real. By helping this person, you even get an achievement for helping them. And that blew my mind, and it's one of the reasons this is one of my most loved games. Another amazing scene around the start of the game has you as Vito trying to get a job. Now Vito doesn't want to get some mundane job. His late father was in a lot of debt, and he needs to pay that off, so he needs to make some real money. So when you get tasked with stacking some boxes, obviously Vito has some things to say about it.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Who the fuck wants to move boxes around all goddamn day? Jeez, all this for 10 lousy bucks? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, how can these guys stand this? I'm doing this for 5 fucking minutes, I already hate it. You know what? I don't need this chicken shit money.
What I loved about this was from the start, it tells you that you can just walk away. This is boring, this is mundane work, this is what Vito's life would be without Joe. But you don't have to stop, you can keep stacking. Yes, at some point the game will stop you from being able to do that, I will say I would have loved it if they actually had let you stack all of the boxes, and maybe you could have got paid for the work and then the game could have had a different ending. I think that could have been really interesting.
I can make 100 times more working for Barbaro Incorporated.
Wait, you said Barbaro? Joe Barbaro?
Yeah, so what?
Shit, nobody who works with Joe would carry crates for $10.
Now throughout this gameplay I am showing you early content. I don't want to be spoiling the later game, but I will say the ending has stuck with me for years and I really do recommend sticking with this. Now I'm gonna say right now, I'm not even into gangster related content. I've never seen the Godfather films, for instance. And that's probably what surprised me most about Mafia 2 was the fact that I stuck with it and I really enjoyed it. The story kept me to the edge of my seat until the very end. And to this day I really do believe it's one of the best stories told in a video game. So it's what you came for, let's talk about this definitive edition. Is this just a graphical update? Are there any other changes? And I'm going to say right now, no. The story is identical to how it was originally. Now, there are a few cutscenes where they've changed NPC models for some reason. Take this scene from Joe's Adventure, we have the gas station attendant and he is completely different.
I didn't say nothing to nobody. You gotta believe me, it was Stan. He's the one who brought the stamps, I swear.
Sorry, pal, I heard that one.
I ain't lying. It was Stan who told the cops, not me, I swear. Please, please.
This was kind of jarring because both NPCs that you end up interacting with in this mission are exactly the same NPC. Now, an interesting detail about this is the fact that you can actually see his name tag for the first ever time. Even on max settings in Mafia 2, this was completely unreadable. But this does bring up a continuity error in the fact that his name on his badge is George and his real name is Stan. So that was a bit weird. So talking about comparisons and stuff, I have uploaded a 7 or 8 minute long comparison video looking at a few of the different early cutscenes, as well as a little bit of scripted gameplay. This is probably the best way for you to see the differences. And I'm gonna go into the negatives first. Take for instance one of Joe's girls. She actually doesn't have a name in the game, she is just known as one of Joe's girls. On the left is Mafia 2 Definitive Edition and on the right is Mafia 2. I'm gonna say right now, I prefer the original. There's a couple of instances like this where character models look almost blurry. They look over smooth. It's like they kind of put on an Instagram filter. The one from the original Mafia is a lot sharper. Also, for some reason, she's completely lost her earrings. I don't know where the hell they went, although she has gained a necklace. Also, if we look back at that Joe's Adventure clip, I noticed something kind of interesting. If you look behind Joe and the gas attendant, there is a truck. Looking at that truck, you can see that that text definitely looks a lot better in the remaster. But that's not what I want to bring your attention to. There is a caution sign on the truck. Now, for some reason, in the original game, this was reversed. This isn't a case of it being like a police car where police is reversed on the front as well as ambulance. This was obviously just an error in the texture. In the remaster, it looks a lot better, but it's still reversed. Now this makes no sense. So what I imagine they've done is they've literally just taken that texture, made it look a lot better, and then just put it back on the truck. This is going to seem incredibly petty, but I wish that they had swapped it back over. This is a remaster, this is a fix, this is the ultimate version of this game. And it's those small attentions to detail that could add up. Also, I'm gonna say right now, Joe's lost weight. Also, I miss his messy hair, what happened to that? But this does bring us on to the positives, and I'm gonna say right now, the attention to detail on clothing is a lot better. If you look at the collar here, it's so much cleaner in the remaster. One thing I will say while reviewing this game is the fact that the definitive edition is a lot cleaner. For instance, here is a screenshot from the first mission in the 1950s. Now the first thing you'll notice is the fact that the camera position is completely different. I did not move this. This is literally as it loads, I left it completely the same because I wanted the same results for both pictures. But you guys can see that the original game had a yellowy tint over everything. Something that, of course, I'd never noticed because I was just used to it. Colors definitely aren't that saturated. Also, it feels like there's a little bit of bloom that's going on that isn't in the remaster. Looking at the remaster is a completely different picture. You've got this kind of more natural tone, as well as the fact that everything just pops that bit more. Unfortunately, Mafia 2 is a living world, so I wasn't able to catch the identical scenarios with NPCs, because it's completely random what you're going to get when you spawn into an area. So what I did was stare at an inanimate object. This can literally have no variables in theory, so here we can see a definite improvement. Not only on the side pillars here, we can actually see that we've got kind of a rectangle coming down the middle of them, which you can barely see in the original. Also, the brickwork is noticeable as opposed to the original, where you can barely see that there was even brickwork there. Now, I will say most people probably would never notice these differences. They'll be driving through an area to go from mission to mission and will never notice these small details. But I wanted to show you this to prove that this is definitely an improvement. I will say right now I do prefer the definitive edition. I think it looks a lot better. Color-wise, the lighting I think is a lot better. And you will be seeing that in the background. I did a nighttime mission. I really love the lighting in this game. I think it looks fantastic. Is this as big a jump as the Mafia 1 remake is going to be? No. But as I've always said, I think that Mafia 2 holds up pretty well today, and with this it really just pushes it that little bit forward. So I wanted to see how close this version was to the original, and the best way to do that was look at the game files themselves. So I downloaded a 50s and 40s Billboard mod. This came out for the original Mafia 2 and added in real-world billboards from that era. So you have Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Budweiser, as well as quite a few different other ones. Now, the file structure of Mafia 2 Definitive Edition is almost identical, so I put them in the right locations, and this is the result. Yeah, this works completely, and I think every mod I've tried so far has worked in this game, apart from the ones where you need to merge assets. I think car mods are the ones that don't appear to work. I even got Friends for Life working, which is a pretty big mod that adds in a load of extra content and different start locations as well as different homes. Now, this will need a bit of tinkering, I think, and the modding community will get on that pretty quickly, I'm assuming. But what I will say right now is that in theory this is incredibly easy to mod because it's using the same structure system as the original game. Now, I want to talk about bugs quickly. This game has barely any. I noticed 2 while playing. I captured 1, which is the fact that the grass for some reason had completely disappeared. So as you guys can see in this clip, I'm walking backwards and forwards across this patch of grass, and the grass is just kind of spawning in different sections. Now, I don't know what's causing this, because I reloaded the game and it was absolutely fine again. So I don't know if this was a one-off thing, but I noticed it, of course, because it was kind of jarring. I even loaded up Mafia 2 in the exact same location, and then Vito started just scrubbing the floor for some reason. But anyway, yeah, that worked fine. So I don't think this is a big issue. I think this was just a random bug that happened that hasn't happened since. And the last one I saw was a guy just kind of hovering towards a door, and then he just phased through it. Now, I've never seen that bug again or before in Mafia 2 Original. I didn't capture it, annoyingly. I wish I had. But that's the only bugs I've seen. Now, before we do get into the final section of the video, I do want to talk about performance. Performance here is fantastic. It's better than the original. In the background, you're seeing Mafia 2 Definitive Edition benchmarks. Both tests were done at max settings on both Mafia Definitive Edition and the original. And I'm going to say right now, Mafia 2 had some issues. It definitely stuttered around the start of this sequence, and it was definitely less stable than Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. I did have some weird stutter issues in Mafia 2 Definitive Edition twice in my time through playing, and that was about 2 or 3 seconds, and then it just disappeared. I think that was probably my PC doing something in the background. So I'm not going to say that was the game, but I did notice it. And for the last section, I'm just going to play the game, and you guys can see for yourself what this is. So let's jump in to Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. And here we are in Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. One thing you will notice is that this main menu is identical to the original game. So in terms of video settings, we've got our standard stuff here. One thing I did notice is the fact that PhysX is not in here anymore. Although I will say when running PhysX in the original game, it didn't run very well at all. We've got MSAA settings in here. We've got vignettes, HBAO. And as you guys can see, everything here is set to maximum. You've also now got 2K integration, so if you did link your 2K account to the game, you do unlock a couple of different costumes, and we'll look at those in a minute. So in additional content, we have the 3 DLCs, and of course I've also got the mod free ride, just to show you that mods definitely do work in Definitive Edition. So in terms of the different things you get from activating the 2K account, you get this suit and glasses, which I really like, although this is very, very similar to the Vegas DLC pack. By the way, all the DLC is available in this game. If you buy the Trilogy, or if you buy Mafia 3 Definitive Edition separately, you will also get the Mafia 3 combat jacket. Now, something I forgot to show was the fact that my favourite thing about the audio menu is still in here. Now that seems a bit weird. Who likes the audio menu? Well, this is my favourite part of the audio menu.
Empire Bay.
Empire Bay.
Empire Bay.
Empire Bay. I used to sit and do that for bloody ages.
Empire Bay.
Empire Bay. So I'm going to get really close to this guy. Did you see that? He kind of turned into little black dots and then disappeared. Now this is generally used so a character doesn't block your view, but it's something that's been in the game since the original Mafia 2, and it's one of these things that I keep noticing, especially if you're driving. If you look back, the cars will kind of spawn in like that, and it's really kind of jarring. And it was something I kind of hoped they'd fixed in the remaster, but unfortunately that's not the case. I just thought I'd point that out because it's something that I noticed immediately. So Mafia 2 is an open world game. Well, almost. When you're playing the main story, you go from mission to mission, and during those missions you get to drive around the city. Currently we have the quest of going back and seeing Joe. But between those missions, you can go around doing whatever you want. This was definitely something I saw as a negative when the game was first announced. I think the best way to describe it is like this is a massive movie set. You're having all of these crazy adventures in the missions, and they're all taking place inside this humongous movie set. And I really do love this world. Is there as much to do in the open world as something like Grand Theft Auto? No. But I don't think it needs it. Just exploring these places is amazing. And every single NPC does their own thing. You could walk around here for ages. That guy was just looking at the price in that window. I mean, they will do their own thing, and you can see them going about their business, and I really, really like that. I think all the time spent not doing your generic open world side missions allowed them time to be able to make the world as immersive as possible, and I really, really like that. So inside the garage, we've got a few different cars. Now, these are the ones that I personally have got. Now, a few of these are from the Vegas pack. I think this one is. The only problem is, not every car is appearing for me. Now, I'm recording this before the game is out, and that, of course, may change day one. Generally, if you own all the DLC in Mafia 2, you will have access to literally everything, like the Army Jeep and the futuristic car, and also a Citroen DS, which I'm kind of annoyed isn't in here right now. Now, that free roam mod I told you about actually has them in the garage, so they are definitely in the game, and I've looked in the files, and they're definitely in the DLC folder. They just aren't activating for some reason. But as I said, that may just be the fact that I'm recording this before launch. Another thing you may have noticed is that yes, Lincoln Clay's car is here, and we're actually able to drive this. Now this will go for Lincoln Clay's car. I think you can also get the Mafia 1 cab when that game releases, and also you better get Vito's car in Mafia 3 and Mafia 1 and vice versa. Okay, so I'm taking this car because I want to show you the handling model in this game. I still think this is one of the most fun driving games, and that's kind of why I did car chase videos back in the day, because I really enjoyed the handling. So I have the game set to simulation mode right now in terms of handling, so if I was to put my foot on the accelerator, it's gonna be hard to handle if I was to try and go around corners. So yeah, I actually have to really hold the car into the corners, otherwise it will completely lose control. And you actually have to be incredibly careful, and I like that. You can play it safe and just play on normal handling, or you can even turn on the speed limiter, which is nice. That'll basically bring the horsepower right down, and it will keep you at the speed limit of the road. But if you were to turn that off, you can then start, you know, drifting it around corners and kind of just having a little bit of fun with it. There's even a little bit of parkour in this game. Look at this parkour. It's so fancy. There's another one of those billboards I just found. My goodness, my Guinness. I really love the fact that you're able to just port your mods straight to this game. And I really do love that realistic Billboard mod. That's awesome. We've also got another one over here for Pepsi Cola, which is pretty damn nice. I think I've made it pretty clear before that I absolutely adore the setting of Mafia 2. I think it's incredibly good. There need to be more games set in the 50s. And annoyingly, I can't play you the music in this game. I'm gonna say right now, though, the soundtrack on the radio is incredible, and if you like your 50s rockabilly, you will absolutely adore this game. Also, I didn't realize that the PlayStation Vita came out in 1951. So I'm gonna beat up this guy quickly, just because I can. I need to find a gun somehow, because I want to show you something that blew my mind when I originally played Mafia 2, and I still think holds up. And no other game has ever done it, including Mafia 3. Mafia 3 really did kind of negate a lot of the really small details that this game had. So let me try and... oh, here we go. Let's dodge that guy. There we go. Oh god, we got a brawl going. That's not good. Boom! Ah. Oh, that's fantastic. He wants to take me in. That's not good. Okay, run. Run, run, run. I want to see if I can take that guy's gun, though. Here we go. Okay, took one down. Take the other one down. Nice. Right, let's take the revolver. Because I need this for a certain thing I'm about to do. I'm getting fired at quite badly here. We now have a cop rating on not only Vito, but also the car. So if I was to change the number plate on this vehicle, they won't know exactly that it's me. But of course, it's a convertible, so they can just see who I am. But if we, let's say, had a car with a roof, that wouldn't be the case. Alright, so I've got away from the police. And what I'm going to do is head to, I don't know, a local diner or a clothing store. Now, of course, if you're on the run from the police, a change of vehicle would be, of course, a smart idea. And we can do that. Now, there is actually a lock-picking minigame in this game. So if I was to come over to this car, we have a couple of options. We can just smash the window, or we can lockpick the car. Now, because of story reasons, I unfortunately don't have the lockpick right now. But yes, I'd normally be able to lockpick. And the lockpicking minigame is... okay, it's pretty good. I would say it's kind of similar to Oblivion's lockpicking minigame, but a little bit easier. Also, this is a perfect example for me to show you one of my favourite small details. Now watch the tyre, okay? Watch that back tyre as it comes off the curb, and you can actually see it deforms and molds to the shape of the floor. That is so cool, and it's something that I don't think I've ever seen done in another video game, apart from maybe something like Forza, I suppose. Okay, so I'm going to have to be careful here, because obviously I'm still wanted. If I changed my clothes, that would actually go away, but right now, that doesn't really matter. Now, we do have the option to actually kick that door open, but I'm just going to open it normally, and then I'm just going to get to the back of the store, because there is a police car right there. Oh god, okay, he very briefly saw me. It's okay. He's parked outside. No, he's going. Okay, good. Right, so not only can you actually order from these places, you can do this with clothing stores, gun stores, and everything else. And right now, I could actually get myself a hot dog, Swift Cola, I could get a sandwich, a coffee, and there's bars as well you can do this in. Now, unfortunately, again, because of story reasons, I have no money right now. But I'd actually be able to get these items. Now, of course, I could get some money, and you're probably wondering, well, how do you do that? Well, how do you think? Also, another one of my favourite things is if I had money, of course, I'd actually be able to turn on the jukebox, and you're actually able to play random songs from the era, and I absolutely adore that. I need to close this door because I'm going to get spotted immediately. Right, let's close that. Let's wait for that cop car to go, and then I want to show you something. Oh! There's a gangster in here! He killed me?! Yeah, this isn't like another game where you pull your gun out and the pedestrians don't notice. No, in this game, they will notice if you just randomly pull your gun out. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get myself another gun. I'm pretty sure this guy is a gangster. I'm just gonna beat him up here, and we're gonna try and take his... oh, God. Yep. He was... oh, okay. That's interesting. Run! Okay, yeah, his gangster friends are not happy that I just beat him up. So we're going to wait for a couple of these guys to just die, and then I'm going to take their weapons. I think they're heading over here. There's a police car, and they're fighting. So what I'm going to do is just wait, and then we're going to see what we can do. Okay, they noticed where I was. That's not good. Let the police take them out. Oh god, there's more. Okay. That did not go to plan. You know what? We're just going to hide behind this police car and just wait this out. That was a terrible idea. The car blew up. Yeah, if you hit the gas tank on a car, boom. Okay, so instead of using story mode, I'm just going to jump into the free ride mod. And there you go, I have a weapon. Perfect. As I said earlier about the cars being missing for some reason, these are the cars that were missing. Now, as I'm showing here, of course, using this free ride mod, they're available, which is really weird. But yes, they definitely are in the game. I really like that one. It's very fancy. Okay, so we need a good getaway vehicle. These ones are pretty ridiculous because they have over 200 brake horsepower. So, yeah, we can try this one. Now I'm going to show you what this is like when you put the accelerator down. Yeah, really not much grip whatsoever. Okay. This thing is an absolute beast and I love it. Okay, so this time, let's hope there's no gangster in here. Because otherwise it's going to go bloody terribly. Oh, and now we have money. I can actually buy one of these things. There you go, I bought a hot dog. Very fancy. And gun. Now, he also had a gun. Now, these guys are thankfully being quite smart right now. Oh god, okay. So we definitely have police right now. I'm going to rob that for $57. I'm just going to hide here. Now, I want you to pay attention to everything on the shelves. Okay, yeah, we've got multiple police incoming. And we've also got an orange guy? I don't know who that guy is. Oh, as you guys can see, the windows actually get blown out. And I really love that attention to detail. And they actually get blown out in a realistic way. So if we were to hide behind this counter... Okay, let's take that guy out. Okay, did you see that? The shelf actually fell over. They actually knocked the shelf down. Who even thought of that? Like, it's such a small detail that you can just knock these shelves off. Why? Why is that a thing? I bloody love it. All of these are separate objects. Right, so I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to run away here. And I want to show you the aftermath. So, let's get in the car. Get away from this area immediately. Get her into reverse. Do a 180. Okay, that was freaking close. That was too bloody close. So I'm going to drive away from that location. We're going to try and get onto a road where I can actually become hidden. Let's go up here and into this small alleyway. So the cop cars are now leaving the location. So what I'm going to do is park in this alleyway and head back down to the restaurant. Okay. Crime scene. Do not cross. Yep, this is a thing. Now, this door is now locked. So if I wanted to, I could actually break this down, and if there was anything that we maybe missed in here, now we've been seen by the cops annoyingly, but if there was anything we missed in here, like the cash register, you can actually come back in and take any items that you missed. And I think that is incredible. I don't know any other game that has done that. Now obviously over time those locations will come back, and that's awesome, but it's just absolutely crazy that that attention to detail was even there from the start. So I think the main question lies: is Mafia 2 Definitive Edition worth it? If you own Mafia 2 on Steam, you will be given the Definitive Edition at no extra cost. And also, Mafia 3 owners will get Mafia 3 Definitive Edition at no extra cost on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam. So if you own Mafia 2, you're getting this update. And in theory, those of you who haven't bought the DLC will also be getting that for free. That's crazy, and I absolutely bloody love this. Now, for those of you who don't own Mafia 2, then should you buy this? Well, for the price of $24.99, yes. 100 times yes. I have said from the very beginning that Mafia 2 is an unappreciated game. I wish more people had bought it when the game released. I remember working in GameStation when this game came out, and my game of the year was Mafia 2. Most of my GameStation employees laughed at me and said, "Really?" Turns out they never actually played the game, and I really do believe this is the best time to purchase Mafia 2. So what are you waiting for? So I've got to thank Hangar13 and 2K for sending me this review copy. Everything that I've said in this video is my own opinion. I just love Mafia 2, and I really do believe that more people should play this game. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. Tell me, did this change your opinion in any way? Did you maybe not even know this game existed until now? Tell me in the comments down below. But until next time, that's me, out. Bye guys.